Welcome to today's session. I'm Nick James, PwC Private's market leader. Here at PwC, we understand the importance of being at the forefront of AI and the impact it can have on the long-term success of your business. From our recent CEO survey, we found 37% of CEOs in the next 12 months see generative AI improving the quality of their company's products and services. Furthermore, a significant unrealised potential to achieve operational efficiencies so long as they can manage the risks such as cybersecurity effectively. With that in mind, it is my great pleasure to introduce our guest today, Scott McLiver, our Asia Pacific AI leader. We're here live off the back of a week of hosting a number of client workshops, sharing with our private clients how they can explore, design and deploy AI safely into their businesses. All right, let's jump into it. Scott, there's been a significant amount of hype around AI at the moment. Firstly, is it all real? And secondly, what do leaders need to be thinking about?
Yeah, hi Nick, well it's great to be here. Yeah, there's a huge amount of hype and one of the key reasons for that, there's really two drivers. Firstly, we've never in history had computers that were anything really more than glorified calculators. But now with these large digital neural networks, generative AI means that computers can now learn, think and create, and they do all that in natural language. So that's a really big deal, this emergence of non-human intelligence. Yeah. And not only has that emerged now, but it's actually improving faster than any technology we've ever seen. So those two things combined have driven a huge amount of hype. And what do leaders need to do? Be curious and get that foundational knowledge. Because with the foundational knowledge, you can think strategically about your business, your sector and your industry. Without the foundational knowledge, it's really hard for you to think, how will this technology impact my people, my business and our value chain?
Okay. Absolutely, and seeing it firsthand and using it myself, I absolutely understand what you're saying there, Scott. What use cases are you seeing GenAI most useful for from a day-to-day perspective with private businesses, and where do you think it excels?
Yeah, it's a really good question because people often jump to things like finance use cases or logistics and kind of very data heavy. These models, and they're large language models at their core, these digital brains excel at language-based tasks. Okay. So any productivity around language, and that is everything from research to summarising documents, to creating, first drafts of tender responses, reviewing legal contracts, anything that's language-based, these models currently excel at, because they're language models. They're getting better and better at numbers. The other thing is the creation of content. So whether that's video content, safety videos in different languages, amazingly, their creative capability around imagery and videos and audio is really powerful. So language-based tasks and visual creativity is where I'd probably start.
Okay, perfect. So that's a good starting point. Where do you then see the next big opportunity in the private sector with Gen AI beyond what it can do at the moment?
Yeah, so firstly, arm your people with responsible AI to get those productivity gains and all knowledge workers need to be getting better at using these digital brains to be more efficient at their day-to-day tasks. Yeah. But also the next big opportunity is really transforming entire workflows. Whether that's customer service, whether that's the way in which you create various pieces of value in your business, whether it's research, whether it's innovation. Instead of just arming knowledge workers with these tools to be more effective and more efficient humans, what can we completely recreate? And we're starting to do that. We're starting to see that with organisations, but that's the bigger opportunity. Not just be more efficient with what you currently do, let's transform how you do it entirely.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes total sense. What role do you see PwC playing in helping clients manage compliance, risk, cybersecurity with Gen AI? Because it is a big area and a scary thing if you're not across it.
Look, absolutely. There's a lot of fear around Gen AI, and it's also really important from a data privacy and ethical use perspective that you take it really seriously and be very deliberate how you make sure your use of Gen AI is safe and ethical. So PwC does a lot of work, firstly helping you get safe and responsible Gen AI in your hand. Yep. And step one is that it's data safe and data protected, that none of your data, your client's data, your customer's data will ever leave the Gen AI interactions that you have. Then you got to think about risk frameworks and ethical use. So we work a lot with clients, helping them start the journey, but in a way they know is responsible, ethical, and safe and protected.
Yeah, got it. So let's jump to practical key steps with getting clients off ground zero. What would you do, Scott?
Yes, it's a really good question. I think there's the 5-step process that we use works really well. Step 1's the executive and leader education. You need to get your leaders upskilled with the foundational knowledge. Then you need to develop a bit of a strategy, right? So that just means for the next 12 to 18 months, how are we going to incorporate GenAI into our business, right? And acknowledge the fact that this is just the next 12 to 18 months. This isn't your 5-year GenAI strategy.
Yeah.
Once you've created a bit of a strategy and where you're going to explore and be curious and run pilots with these tools, step 3 is making sure those risk frameworks are in place. Someone on your leadership team responsible for ethical use, the sign-offs are associated with data protection, and you've taken the time to get those things right. Once you've got those 3 first steps done, and they can be done very quickly, then deploy the tech to run some pilots, whether that's with 10 people, 50 people, or 100 to start with. Run some pilots in your business using generative AI to find the things not at 30,000 feet that help your business, but at ground level, to help your people be more efficient. Get some of your early adopter and curious team members to be armed with this tech. And then once you've found the use cases in step 4 from running these pilots, whether they're 3-month pilots, 1-month pilots, or 6-month pilots, then get it across the rest of your team and you scale it. And those 5 steps we've found have worked really well. And that's been the client zero approach for us. We view PwC as the first client we're transforming ourselves. And those are the 5 steps we've been through.
Yeah, perfect. Scott, super insightful session, really awesome. And the hype is living up. I think what I would say is, what takeaways should our audience take from today's conversation? And I always come back to the Harvard quote that you know better than I do around using AI.
Yeah, there's that great quote that AI won't replace humans, but humans using AI well will replace humans who don't use AI. And I think that's a great reminder that ultimately this is a technology that can supercharge human productivity and capability. So to encourage you to keep that firmly in mind. I'd also encourage people to not make the mistake of just because it's not perfect doesn't mean it's not helpful.
Yeah.
So if these digital brains, these tools help you get a 70% and 80% draft piece of research, help you draft a tender response, help you create a social media plan, just because it's not perfect doesn't mean it hasn't been very helpful.
Yeah. Back to the productivity gain you spoke about earlier. So our team at PwC is ready and available, so please reach out and start the conversation today. As an audit partner that works with a lot of clients and is in front of a lot of boards, I'm hearing firsthand that AI and the business model reinvention that's associated with it is front of mind for all that are there. So we don't have the luxury of ignoring it, what's coming down from a tech pipeline perspective. So please reach out, we're here to help, and thanks again, Scott. Have a great day.